Welcome to the Agent to Agent podcast, the show that connects you with top real estate professionals across the country to uncover what life is really like in their communities. So, whether you are a fellow real estate agent looking for a trusted referral partner or somebody who's thinking about making a move, you'll find insider insights into what life is like in each of these communities to help you feel right at home no matter where you land. So, let's jump in. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Agent to Agent podcast. I'm excited for today's episode. Today, joining me, I have Katie Cambell, straight out of Nashville, Tennessee. Katie is a mom, a wife, founder of Souped Up Coaching, and a crumble cookie aficionado, and aware of many hats, all while working to make people feel cared for, loved, and inspired. So, in her own words, she is a human exclamation point. So help me welcome Katie Cambell to the show.
Okay, it's not my own word. It makes me sound egotistical, and I'm like, I'm a human exclamation point. Somebody else said that, and I just grabbed onto it because I love it.
But it just encompasses your personality in such the most genuine way. It's like fantastic. So you just need to like own it. And, I think there's nothing egotistical about that at all. I absolutely love that. And I'm going to
It's
like send you random exclamation points from now on.
it's usually either exclamation point or I'm the human version of caps lock. Either
The
one.
human version of what?
Caps lock.
Caps. Always be yelling. Always be yelling. Everybody says ABCs always be closing, but Katie, always be ABY. ABY. I absolutely love it. Well, awesome. Well, Katie, thanks for joining
Thanks
me
for
for
having
the
me.
podcast today. I'm super excited to have you. So, as you know, this is a podcast where we just connect with other agents across the market. And I know that you used to be, I believe, in production and kind of like took a
Mhm.
step back. I think now you've been really deep in like operations and helping people build systems and kind of build their own businesses. But
Yeah.
also looking to kind of come back into production yourself as well. So I think that that's fantastic. So I'd love to delve into that a little bit during our conversation today. But tell us a little bit about like how tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get into the business? Who is Katie? Outside of an exclamation point, because we can use 1, 2, 3. Like the floor is yours.
Okay, so I got into real estate. I had my previous career was in retail management. I had 10 years in retail management, and then I, did one of those just complete changes and went into wedding and event planning. And
Okay.
I like ran bridal shops and did wedding and event planning, and it was so fun, and I loved it. I had always like thought that I might do real estate when I was older and like I had kids in high school and just wanted something to kind of do. I
Mm-hmm.
had moved a lot when I was younger, and so I thought maybe that would be like a fun way to pass the time because nobody ever actually knows what a real estate agent does.
Right.
So I had a friend who was an agent, and I realized that she was always able to be at like her son's events, and she was always able. She worked really hard, but then she also lived like this really cool life. And meanwhile, I was working at this bridal salon and I had requested time off for something really important to me. It was like, I requested, I think, half a day off and it got denied. And I missed the thing that was super important to me. And I kind of laid there like, I'm giving up the things that matter in my life for what? Like the hope at the end of the year, I get 25 cents more per hour, maybe. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And I thought, I really want a career where I can get out what I put in. I know that I'll work really hard. And I literally, like, the next day just walked in and turned in my notice and then figured out how to sign up for real estate school.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I started with Keller Williams from day one. I was an agent, quickly joined a team, phenomenal team, Christy Cannon down in Dallas. Um, and I was an agent with her for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal experience. And then she kind of pulled me aside one day and said, we had a role and the person who was in that role left. And she said, could you kind of step in till we find the next person and take this over. She's like, all of your paperwork's always really complete. You're really thorough. You care about details. So could you just do this for a little bit? And I said, of course, like I'd love to learn that. I love seeing what new roles and opportunities are about. And that was her way of saying, hey, no, this is a strength of yours that you don't know. But if I just ask you to do it forever, you're going to say no. And so I started running the listing operations for a team that was doing 400 listings a year.
Okay.
Just kind of like a, here you go. So I learned how to like break their systems, rebuild their systems. It was really cool because I had done it from an agent perspective. So I knew, I think the disconnect is oftentimes our brains work very differently, right? Like what works for admin and what they want does not work for realtors. And so you have to find this middle ground that makes everybody like efficient and stuff. So yeah, that made me realize like how much I really loved systematizing, and that's how my brain works anyway. And I just didn't know that could be like a job. So, then I just kind of had like a midlife crisis, became a TL of a market center up in Boston. And then, moved into coaching agents and admin. I enjoy coaching both because I feel like I can help them understand the other side. And I've seen a lot of business. I've done a lot of business. So I can help them get the different perspective. I married a real estate agent. So while I haven't been in production, I have been very close to production.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of got the itch, and I think I'm going to get licensed again. I probably won't focus on it too much, but I will be licensed down here so that I can help Brett with his. Is that enough word vomit for you?
I love that word vomit. We got a big plate over here, so there's a lot to fill. There's a lot to fill. So what do you think, you've got a very well-rounded background from like agent to admin to leadership to coaching. What would you say, you mentioned that the way that admins want to see things versus the way agents want to see things from a system perspective. What would you say is one of the biggest misses or early upsets, if you will, that like agents tend to miss, like when they're trying to structure out a system? Because I know for myself, I can overanalyze a system to try and build that system like perfect, if you will, so that I can operate through it. But I'm just kind of curious with you seeing both perspectives, like where do you see agents falling short who don't necessarily have that admin support on the back end as they're trying to build out their systems? And do you have any advice or any feedback for them?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So there's a couple key things, and it's going to depend on the person, right? So some agents, they fall short because they just don't do it. Whether they're analyzing something or their brain is moving too quickly or what, they just don't stop and make a system, right? Like anything that you do more than twice should be a system. And so you have like too many things it just doesn't get done because it doesn't seem important. It doesn't seem important to stop to build the system to make your life easier. There's just business in front of you and you want to address that.
Right.
So I think that's probably the biggest one. The other one is the ones who get super committed to the cause. They're like, I'm going to build out these systems before I hire anybody, and they're going to walk in to be able to make sense of it. Stop. If we have operations brains, we enjoy coming into the mess and making sense of it. You need to be able to like answer questions. Stop trying to fix it. Stop. Because your brain does not
Yeah.
work in the way that it needs. If it was easy for you or if it was natural for you, you would have done it while you were building it. Hire somebody and let them see the mess and let them sort it out, and then stop micromanaging. You have agents who have these haphazard way of doing things and they call it a system, and then they hire someone and won't agree to following a new system. And it's like, what are you paying them for? Just either
Right.
be a mess or give up control. It's called leverage and it makes your life better.
Yeah. I mean, and it bleeds right over into the client experience and the way that
Yeah.
you're able to service, your buyers and your sellers. If you're so focused on the operational side of things and making the operational things perfect, then, we can't be doing two things at one time. Right. So something is going to end up giving. And 9 times out of 10, it seems like it comes from the customer experience side
Yep.
of things. So that's fantastic. So I know that you're up in the Nashville area now, just kind of
Yeah.
like recently moved over into that market. So I would say, I know that you you had a community back where you moved from, but I also would argue that it looks like you have a pretty strong community where you're at now as well. So like, what do you love most about serving your community, about the people who you work with?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So My life's mission is to empower others to discover their true potential through passion and um, potential and passion through connection and gratitude, right? And so when I move to a new place like this, I have a whole new group of people that I get to like figure them out. And one of my favorite things to do is connecting people with somebody or something that'll make their life better, right? And now I have like a brand new audience of people. Like I can figure out a way to help you in life, whether that's just making you feel better, helping you find
Mm-hmm.
someone to help with something you need, like get you connected to somebody, be that connector. I have this theory in life that I always want to connect people to cool people, so I need to meet a lot of cool people. So I just have like this brand new place to like meet new people. um and I think like it's really interesting. So Nashville's very different from where we were, and
Okay.
it's a huge, like obviously huge music city, but there's a lot of families here, and there weren't a lot of families where we were. And it's very fun because that resonates with me because, we have a 4-year-old son, and that completely changed my life and the way that I feel protective over children and them believing in the power that they have and all the things that they can
Mm-hmm.
do. And so it's really cool to me to have an entire community of people here who like we can impact and help make their lives better so that we can raise a great next generation and do it together, like as a community. It's so exciting. Like that's the most energizing thing ever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you feel like you just it's not that the community it's just a different community here, but it also sounds like you've got like the community just connects on a much deeper level to like what your passion is and like where you're at in life right now too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've got little ones too, and they're like the most important thing. So, how can we help them grow? How can we
Yeah.
help them learn? How can we turn them into, the next generation? I mean, they are the future, right?
Yeah,
So,
and that's kind of like I look around every place that I go, right? And like how can I make this better for my son? But then it's like how can I make this better for every child who's going to
mhm.
come into how can I make the world better for every child who's going to step into it, right? Where they believe in themselves and they have these big dreams and they know they can chase them and they're surrounded by love and kindness and just all of these wonderful things. And there's so much opportunity here to do that because, we have a community that's very similar, I
Yeah.
guess, like where we're at in life. But then also there's just so many common interests. Like the weather's so nice here, so people are always outside. So we just meet people naturally. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Do you have like a passion project like that, that you're kind of like working towards, right? Like if you could just, I don't want to say if you could drop everything, right? But if you just had like the unlimited amount of time and you were just to like delve yourself into like some type of passion, which I would say maybe be around the children and things like that. Like, do you have something like that?
So I have a little passion project that I work on. If I had all the time in the world, I would probably have like 7 or 27.
Okay.
But
Sounds about right for you.
I
Yeah. I love it.
I crochet blankets for babies in the NICU. Um, and it's more for
Nice.
like their parents as a comfort thing. But again, it's like giving hope and empowering people of like, hey, like you're not alone. This is a really hard time, but also like you have a group of people who loves you. We had Connor during COVID, and it was so isolating because we were isolated. And so I just really don't want anybody. We were fortunate enough to not have a NICU experience, but I don't want anybody who's in there to feel alone and feel isolated and feel like they're on a desert like we did. And so just little things like a little crocheted blanket, to give some comfort and warmth. That's like my little passion project. It's
I
also
love
really good
that.
for ADHD to crochet.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Because it's just a very, like, I want to say tedious, and you can just like focus on a few. I don't want to say simple
Hmm.
tasks, but just like,
No, it
yeah, I
is.
can
Yeah, it
see
is.
that.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's really great.
I got a little bit of that. Maybe I should pick up crochet. No,
I
I don't need.
taught I taught Brett to crochet.
Oh, did you?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I made him
Uh,
try it to see if it helped, like with the fidgeting and
and
stuff.
does he like it? Is it doing what it needs to do?
Yeah, he doesn't do it as often as I do, but he does enjoy it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
It's like a fidget toy with a cool product at the end.
That's fidget toys get so boring though. After you can
I
only do so
know,
much.
but that's the thing.
You
Like
can only do so much fidgeting.
you're doing different like designs, and I don't know. It's
Yeah,
interesting. I like
that's awesome.
it.
That's awesome. And so now we just got on to crocheting. I love that. It's
Here we
fantastic.
go.
So, talk to us a little bit about the city that you're in. You're in Nashville, right? Like, what's the
Yeah.
vibe around the city and the communities, maybe even the suburbs? I mean, I'm sure everybody knows it's a big music city, country music, right? So,
Yep.
I feel like that's where everybody's mind goes. But is that like really what the vibe is? Like when you're
Yeah.
like there, is that really what it is?
Actually, yeah. Like there's live music literally everywhere. But what I think that translates into is like everybody assumes the best and everybody's happy and everybody is cheering each other on, right? Like the things I didn't realize about being around all this live music is like these are a bunch of people who are here chasing their dreams, right? Like they want to be discovered and turned into the next big thing. And they are cheering louder for the people around them than they are for themselves. They want all of them to win.
That's
And it's
cool.
the coolest, most supportive group. So, like, we went to a thing on Friday night. It's called a writers round, where some of the songwriters who, like, they've written some big hits, but also
Mhm.
like some stuff for themselves. And they're on stage and they share the stories behind the songs that they wrote, what inspired them writing it, and then they play it how they wrote it instead of how it was recorded. And it was so neat. Like they brought up other friends of theirs who are writers who are just getting started or artists who are just getting started and like took the spotlight off of themselves and shined it onto the people around them. And I feel like that's the entire vibe we've gotten while we're here. Everybody's happy. Everybody wants the whole community to win. It translates into real estate so much because, like, every neighborhood has nosy neighbors where they're like, they know what's going on
Yeah.
with the neighbors. But here it's in such a positive light. People talk about people moving because of the cool things going on in their lives, or they're excited about, renovations being done to a house, or they're excited about the equity they have in their house instead of complaining about how expensive it's gotten. It's just such a different mindset because everybody has abundance and they're full of hopes and dreams, and I love it.
That's great. I mean, you always have like a handful of people who share that same type of mindset, but to have an entire community that kind of just
Yeah.
gives off that vibe, right? It's kind of like I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a feeling that comes with that when you're present in that in that group of people. It's just kind of like going to a concert, I feel, right? Like
Yeah.
you could listen to the music in your car or in your house over speakers, but like to go and be there engulfed in that experience is a completely different thing. And it sounds like that's exactly
Hmm.
kind of like what Nashville gives.
Yeah.
Pun around the music intended, I guess, as well there. But what are some of the local spots or favorite spots around there? Like for somebody who's not familiar with the area, like what do the locals know that people moving in should know to really get that experience of Nashville?
Okay, so the listening room is the place where we went Friday night that has the writers'
Okay.
rounds. Bluebird Cafe is like the well known one where they sometimes do writers' rounds or performances. Listening Cafe is a little bit more of like a local
Hmm.
spot. It's like $20 a ticket. They have a $15 minimum spend on bar drinks, but it's super intimate. Like the room, I think it only holds like 100 people. So it's pretty small. So you have like a small group
Okay.
of people getting to engage in this. And it's really laid back and so fun. And the artists interact with you from stage. So like it's really cool. And then truthfully, like the most local thing I think is like if you go off of Broadway, which of course is where like all the tourist places are, there's
Hmm.
so many cool restaurants and bars, and you just like anywhere you stop is just really cool, right? If you go out to the suburbs, there's things like Lebanon has a wading pool with like this massive, massive park that is right across from like a train thing, and so you can set up like there's concerts there, and there's like you can watch the trains and go in the little
Yeah.
wading pool and do the park, and then they have like festivals and concerts. Mount Juliet has Charlie Daniels Park, which is in honor of Charlie Daniels, but like they have live music and food trucks. Um, there's just of like there's literally always something. The farmers markets are great. But yeah, I would say probably like if you want a local experience versus a tourist one, I'd say Listening Room Cafe and then like East Nashville. Oh, this is the one.
Okay.
East
I'm bracing
Nashville.
myself.
If you want to go do like karaoke or just listen to some cool music from not artists, just people,
Mhm.
Sid Gold's Request Room, and it's in a strip mall that looks like you probably don't want to get out of your car. But then when you get inside, it's like very, very fancy. Or
Okay.
like a karaoke bar. It is so cool. It's the coolest experience. And you will find absolutely zero tourists there. None. None will be within like a 10-mile radius.
Well, that's awesome. Well, that's like the hole in the wall, right? Everybody thinks of hole in the wall
Yeah.
like restaurants and food, right? But this is a karaoke bar, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's like what the locals know. I haven't done karaoke in so long. It just sounds like that would be a lot of fun. We're gonna go there when I come up and visit because that's just so.
I already booked it for our event in November. But they have like a live piano player. It's so cool. It's so cool. But most of the things that I know that are local are like kid related, right? So like
Yeah.
the Tennessee State Museum is in Nashville. You don't need membership. It's free admission. They have a whole kids room that teaches the history of all of Tennessee, and like it has music and stuff like that. There's like the Country Music Hall of Fame has like once a month they do a free kids day. They call it an instrument petting zoo, where like the kids can go in and play with instruments and learn about the instruments and tour the museum. So most of the stuff that I know is like kid centric because I spend my days exploring with my kid. But
Yeah. That's awesome. So I mean, it
yeah,
sounds like it's a super family friendly
yeah.
community, is what it sounds like. I mean, is that who you're seeing moving to the area, or is like has Nashville been a family friendly community for like some time, or is it really kind of like now like younger families and things like that? We're just seeing like an influx, kind of moving into that area. And what about Nashville is like really appealing to that type of
I
homeowner or just family?
I think like probably to some degree there's always been like a family friendly vibe, right? Because country music in general is just like a little bit more right. It's
A
not
little bit more
LA. You're
family
not
friendly.
like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more like here. It's like somebody, your neighbor, like 4.5 people, dog, white picket fence, whatever. Like one of them is probably a recording artist or something. Like they're just the local folks who happen to like sing music for a career.
Hmm.
But I think like while it's always been a little bit more family friendly, it typically has geared towards the young professional solo crowd. And there's still a huge crowd of that, right?
Yeah.
But we've seen the suburbs have such an uptick in population and build out over the past 10 years. So like the suburb we live in, which is right outside of Nashville, 10 years ago was just fields.
Wow.
And now it has like some of the best schools in the state. We have like parks everywhere that you can like see. It's built for families, and pretty much every suburb around there is like that because the price of housing is like some places are a little higher, right? But it's pretty reasonable compared to the rest of the country. You can get a decent amount of land for a really decent price. Cost of living
Yeah.
is so low. There's no state income tax. And so it's just super family friendly to like have a family, grow a family. And I don't want to say it's
Yeah.
only like appealing for those people, but like it is
Right.
really attractive.
What would you say your average like single family home price point is over whether you're talking about like Nashville proper, if you will, or even like the surrounding suburbs? Are there any very popular suburbs that people you see flocking to right now?
Yeah, so like Mount Juliet is a huge one. Like people love it. It's still getting built out. There's still new builds. I would say average in Mount Juliet is going to be between 550 and 600. So like it's a little bit higher, but they also
Yeah.
have like the crazy nice amenities and taxes are very low. So
Okay.
like on a on a $500,000 house, you're maybe paying like $1,400 annually in taxes. Uh, so
That's amazing.
and there's no state income tax. So yeah, it's
Florida who?
so in Nashville, it's very much going to depend on like the neighborhood that you're in, right? We have some where like the average is 750, some where the average is going to
Yeah.
be like 2.8. We have like
Mhm.
Williamson County with Brentwood and Franklin are over there, and that's the wealthiest county in the state. And if you remove Florida, it's the wealthiest county in the entire Southeast. It's wealthier than Augusta.
Ooh,
Um, so it just kind of
wow.
depends on like which side of Nashville you're on, where you want to
Yeah.
be. But like we were sending some folks some things for what was the last one that we sent? It was like, I kid you not, it was like 21 acres with a main house, a cabin, a shed, a barn, and like something else. It's like 35 minutes out of downtown, and it was like $750,000.
$750,000. All I heard was 21 acres and a
Right.
$750,000 price tag. That's crazy just in and of
Isn't that
itself.
crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah. So like,
that's not
but
a
that's what
thing.
I'm saying. It's like, if you want to be downtown, your price is definitely going to be higher, but I challenge you to figure out where else in the country you could get like usable, beautiful land and have the convenience of being that close for that price. Like it's nuts.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a huge
Yeah.
because we have. I've got a few buyers right now. People who just relocated and they're looking for some land, but it's like the
Mm-hmm.
land here is. I mean, if you want to be around Orlando area and you're looking for land, I mean, you still even to get that price point, you're still going to be maybe an hour, 45 minutes at least, an hour out, like to
Yeah.
even like start finding like land that's big enough to do that that isn't primed to be scooped up by developers to
Yeah.
to parse that out. So um, well, what kind of do you have any tips for anybody who may be looking to relocate to the Nashville area? Like I know that you guys just
Tip
relocated. Yeah, just like tips in like as far as helping with the move or areas that maybe you should look at to begin with. Or I mean, I would
tip
argue
one
that if
is call us.
yeah, that's probably
um,
number one.
and then I would say just be really clear about like what lifestyle you want, because there's something for everybody, and the
Mhm.
neighborhoods where you're looking are will cater to that. Like no matter what you want, there's something here for you. And so just understand like what you're looking for, what you may be open to, or like what your ideal, do you want to be walkable to a bunch of places? Do you want land? Do you want to be
Yeah,
like suburbs with lots of convenience? Do you want something older you can rebuild? Do you want to be like in the heart of the city? Like just figure out what works for your lifestyle. And the suburbs are you can cross a suburb line and know that you're in a new one. And
okay,
that's not a negative thing. They're just all built kind of with their own flair. They just all they have a very different group of people who like, the people who want to walk in downtown are not going to be moving out to where each house is on 3 acres.
right. Oh, that sounds so
So
nice. 3 acres. That sounds fantastic. I love that.
yeah, yeah, it's
That's
pretty
great.
cool.
That's great. So for our agents out there who are looking who are watching this, and even we might even have some people who are looking to relocate or watching this too. What would you say? What do your past clients say about you? Like, what is unique about working with you and your team out there?
Ooh, so okay. So there's two of us, right? Brett's an agent too. Brett's probably the best educator I've ever met in my life. He is so thorough and so patient. So patient. He it's crazy.
Oh,
He's also a third generation realtor, so he knows this, that, and the other, everything that you
mhm.
could ever want to know about it. Um, and then I would say, like, between us, our personalities are very different. And so we kind of can match anybody, right? If you are a little bit more introverted or subdued, he's going to be your fit. If you want an exclamation point, that's me. But what we do is, like, we really care about the whole person. I know a lot of people say that, but like, we actually care about the whole person. I've moved a
Mhm.
whole lot in my life. And so I'm very adept at learning how to make places feel like home. And so I'm very good at making people get established in a new area very quickly and making it feel like home. And we do a lot of like, welcome to the neighborhood type things and make sure that people are ingrained in their neighborhood. And if you're like a referral agent, I believe in a lot of communication. So you will hear from me at every milestone and every Thursday. You will get gifts from me. You will always know what's going on with your client. You'll have access through a portal on what's happening, and you'll always be kept in the loop of what's going on. You'll be included in all the celebrations. And yeah, we believe we're a reflection on the people who refer us. And so we need to do them justice.
I love that. And talk about bringing it full circle to the end of this podcast where, your thing is, making sure that people feel loved, cared for, and inspired, right? Like it's not just something that you said as the introduction. It is, you really like live that as far as the experiences that you provide, not just for the clients, but also for, your referral partners. And I think that's an amazing thing that it's exactly why I love chatting with you. You're like awesome.
Same.
That's just it. And everybody else who's watching this needs to, if you don't have somebody in Nashville, Tennessee, you
Aw.
need to give Katie a call. Her husband Brett's pretty awesome too, but this show's not about Brett. So we're not going to talk too much about Brett. But Katie, how can people who are watching this, what's the best way for them to connect with you, whether social, email, phone, like how can people connect with you?
Honestly, call or text me is best. I'm doing better on social media, but I'm kind of boring. So I figure you can put my phone number in the notes, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That's
All my
probably the
contact
best,
info is going
honestly.
in there. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, is there anything that you would like to leave our viewers with before we call cut as they do in Hollywood?
Um, Man, just like go figure out why you love your home and go figure out how to make some other people love it too. You make places better by loving those around you and making them feel better. So go make somebody feel better today.
I love that. I love that. We've got so much more of the day left today, so there's still plenty
We
of
do.
time for that. So, well, Katie, this is Katie Campbell, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on the Agent to Agent podcast today. It's been a fantastic time getting to know you a little bit more and sharing some of your story and what you're all about out there in the Nashville, Tennessee area. For anybody who needs just an amazing person, whether real estate related or just looking for somebody to hang out with and have a great time, Katie is your gal. So until our next episode, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you on the next one, and hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for tuning in to the Agent to Agent podcast, where we connect you with the people and the places that help make moving feel easier. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to follow along for insider looks at communities across the country. And connect with me if you'd like help getting connected with a trusted agent, no matter where life takes you. We'll see you next time.